it's your girl Krissy from Events by Krissy. If it is your first time watching, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today we'll be making these beautiful floral gold centerpieces, these beautiful hoop centerpieces. We are starting with our wooden blocks, some E6000, and our yellowish gold 10-inch gold hoops. We are first just checking to make sure that the gold hoops do fit inside of the wooden blocks. Then we are going to take our E6000 and we are going to just put it in the hole. And what that is going to do, it is going to sit and hold our gold frame sturdy so they will not move. This step is completely optional. I do, however, want this to be a permanent fixture, and the E6000 will do that for me. So if you do not want it to be a permanent structure, you do not have to do this step. But I do recommend that you do, as it will make for a much more sturdy base. Now we're just putting in the part where the hoop meets, where it's welded together, and that way it is a seamless, nice, soft gold finish. You will repeat this step for as many wooden blocks and golden hoops that you have. In this instance, we have 20. So I am going to repeat this step 19 more times. One thing to keep in mind is that it does take 24 to 48 hours for E6000 to set. So once these are placed in, do not move them at all. Leave them right where they are. If you wanted to, alternatively, you can put just a little drop of glue on it from a hot glue gun and you're good to go. Here we are now setting up our makeshift studio. We will be painting indoors as it is a bit snowy outside, and with the moisture, the spray paint will not dry properly. But this is 2 days later, so 48 hours later, they are completely dry. I can lift it up by the hoop and there is no problem whatsoever. We will be using a gold metallic spray paint just to spray this base, and the spray paint I believe we got from Michael's. I think it was $11 or $12. You can get cheaper spray paint anywhere else, but I did have a 40% off coupon, so I definitely used that on the spray paint. So it ended up costing maybe $6. But you'll see now our base is going to be a golden color and our hoop will match it almost perfectly. It will no longer have that yellow tinge to it. So we now have a metallic gold, and we are going to again repeat this step 18 more times because we do have 20 pieces total. So I am going to just fast forward through that quickly so you don't have to wait for it. All right, so once we have completed spray painting all 20 pieces, we are going to wait another 24 hours for this to dry, a minimum 12 hours because you don't want it to be tacky at all when you're moving it around. But you will be waiting. It's best to wait at least 24 hours before continuing on to the next step. And so that is exactly what we did here. Now that the 48 hours are passed, we are going to go ahead with our floral foam. Floral foam you can either purchase at Dollar Tree for $1.25 for a smaller block or $1.50 for a larger block at Dollarama. We're just going to measure out the base and roughly the center, cut it out with a pair of scissors, and then place it in. You can glue it if you want to, but we are going to be using a zip tie to hold it in place. That way we can reuse the floral foam box for another project at a later date or time. I've used one zip tie. You can use two if you feel like it will be more secure, but one is going to be good enough. As you can see, it holds, it is sturdy, and that is all we need. But again, if you want to, you can optionally use some glue or additional zip ties. You can also, if you want to make a smaller floral arrangement, you can cut the floral form either in half or into 3/4 and make a much smaller base. So depending on how large you want it, you can cut the floral foam in half or you can use the full size. These flowers we purchased from Michael's. Michael's just had a spring sale, buy one, get one 50% off. So we're not able to use any coupons, but we got them for a relatively good price. These stems range from $7.99 to $24.99 because we did buy a few bunches each. Again, 50% off. In total, we spent $70, and that was enough flowers to make 4 arrangements. Using some quick math, that works out to be about $17.50 or about $18 worth of florals per arrangement, which isn't too bad. If we were using fresh florals, it may cost about $30 to $40 worth of florals, as a single stem of roses can be anywhere between $5 to $8. Depending on the season, it might be even a bit more. We are just going to continue removing the longer portions of the stem, leaving just the top with the leaves and the floral itself. And we start with the largest flower, as that is going to be our focal point. And then we will mix flowers around it. If you do want a more cost-efficient floral arrangement, you do not need to get your flowers from Michael's. My preference is to get them from here, as they do look more realistic. But there are some beautiful florals that you can get from Dollar Tree that you can mix and match with these. That way you have the larger flowers from Michael's that have the more realistic look, and mix them with a less expensive floral. And that way it will still have the lush fullness, but not as much of the expense. Or alternatively, you can just use all Dollar Tree or Dollarama flowers. It is entirely up to you. But then the florals can go from maybe $18 to $6 or $7 per centerpiece. And if you're looking for something within the $15 range, that would be absolutely perfect for you. We are just going to go ahead and use the greenery to fill in any gaps or holes that we do have left over in the floral foam, because we don't want to see the green base. Alternatively, if you don't want to use greenery, you can use more flowers, but it can begin to look very, very crowded if you do so. So to avoid crowding, we will just use greenery in some spaces and flowers in others. But again, it is entirely up to you. You can decide if you want more greenery, less florals, larger florals, smaller ones. But this is the look that I love, that it looks perfect to me. Again, you can add more or less. It is entirely up to you. Do what you feels best for you. And if you did cut your floral in half, you will use less, obviously less flowers. You're just covering both sides, top and the bottom. And here we have, oh my goodness, our gold crystals. These were purchased on, I believe, Amazon. I will link it in the description where I got them from. But I have not glued them in place yet. I'm just playing around with them to see where I like them. They are Chandelier crystals. And you can see that I've used a little bit of wire, floral wire, to attach them in place. You can also use fishing line to do so if you like. The floral wire is not very friendly sometimes, so it can be a little bit difficult. So if you do want the easier option, you can go ahead and use the fishing line. Do not use glue. If you do use glue, it can be bulky and it won't have a nice seamless finish to it, which we want. And with the floral wire, because it is the same color as the hoop, it blends in, and unless you are looking at it with a magnifying glass or really up close, you will not notice that it is wrapped there. And same with the fishing line, it is clear, and as long as it's tied tightly, it will stay firm and hold it in place. Both options work absolutely well. Again, do not use glue because it will leave it messy and look tacky, and we want a nice, clean finish. As we continue to just wrap it in place, you can see it is a little temperamental, but if you play with it, you end up in a pretty good place, a pretty good space. And here we are just connecting it. So first we are going to open up the hoop. If you don't have nails, you can use a wire cutter or a pair of scissors to help you open that up. And as you see, if you're not using any wire or fishing line, I don't know why I couldn't remember the word. If you don't use any wire or fishing line, what happens is it will fall off. It won't stay in place, and we don't want that. We want it to hold very securely. So there you go. We've used our wire cutters or our floral scissors to close the pins back at the very end, as it was hard to squeeze together or form. Sometimes metal is like that. But that is it. That is our finished product, our finished look. I hope you absolutely enjoyed it. If there is anything that you liked or didn't like about this project, please let us know in the comments below. If there is something else that you would like to see, if you want to see us do a smaller option or an alternative option to this, again, let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.